All right, hey guys. Today we're here with Lucas, and Lucas and I have been working together for about 2.5 months now. So do you want to start off by just telling us, who you are and what you guys do?
Yep. I'm Lucas Smith. We do a bunch of fencing, all sorts from Colorbond to timber, sometimes PVC, aluminium slats, you name it, we do it.
So yeah, first question. In terms of just raw numbers, do you have an estimate in terms of like over the past, say, 2.5 months, roughly how much we've been able to generate for you?
I reckon anywhere ballpark from about 20 to 30 profit, 20 to
Yeah.
30 grand profit.
So that's
Yeah.
take home 20, and that's in 2.5 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know what you were doing at the beginning when you first started?
As in lead wise.
Oh, I guess profit as well. Was it about the same or?
Oh, profit. No, it would be probably about uh 1,000 to 1,200 bucks a week. So not
Okay.
even close.
You're doing about 5 grand a week, and now you're doing about 15. Is it? Or 15, yeah. Yeah, 5 grand a month, sorry, to about 15 a month.
Yeah, pretty well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess my next question is like what was the change, right? Because I know you were doing service seeking before. How is this kind of different from what you've been using previously?
They contact you. That's the big difference. When someone contacts you for quotes, that's serious. Instead of me reaching out, service seeking, you had to reach the customer and then they were to respond. Half the time I would be calling the partner instead of the actual person that made the request, and they got no clue what's going on. And then you give them a quote and they're like, oh, we're just trying to chase pricing. And whereas in comparison, you guys, they pretty much call me, and I know that they're ready for a quote, an actual quote, not just a price figure. 9 times out of 10, they want it done sooner rather than later, and like they want to get the ball rolling pretty much instead of sitting on it for 6 months and then pricing change. You got to requote it, and they go, "Why is there a couple grand difference or whatever?" And then they go, "Oh no, stuff that."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
big difference.
That's awesome. Yeah. Nah, that's good to hear. Because like I think a lot of people do ask kind of like, what is the difference, right? I know obviously one is like sometimes you're sharing leads with multiple people as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, okay. So the fact that
and
they're coming to you and you feel as
yeah.
though you're kind of like stepping from that, I mean like I'll come to you for a quote, but as in I guess it's kind of like because you know that they want the service, you're not as I guess there's not as much what do you call it? Like you can kind of have a bit more of a power in terms of the frame. I don't know if you feel like that.
Yeah, yeah. And it does make a difference. Like you said, a service seeking, you might have seven other people quoting the same job, and then you got seven quotes to look at. All of a sudden, if someone's doing it for $1,000 less than 90% of the people, they're obviously going to go with $1,000. But it's completely different. They might not get what they wanted and shit like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big difference.
Awesome. Yeah. So that was actually going to be my next question, which is have you, because you mentioned that, there are people you basically have to be the cheapest in the market to win those jobs.
To win those. Yep. And then you got to do quantity over quality. Whereas your way, if you're doing a good like you're getting the quotes in, but you do a good job, word of mouth, and it all just
Mhm.
compiles from there.
Yeah.
Like even if you get one job, it could actually turn into three. Like I'm doing a job next week where I did the neighbors, and both sides of that want their fencing done too now. So instead of the one job, now we've got three at a decent price, and there was no effort.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to go. Once I did the job, I was still there, and they come over and said, "Oh, can you measure this while you're here?" So it's a lot better.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Because that's why it always feels like when I talk to people, there's a huge spectrum in terms of not only belief, but just like different levels. And sometimes it's not really to do with, the skill level, it's not necessarily like this guy's like 10 times better than you and he can charge 10 times more. It's down to like sometimes it's just being around the right customers, you know, like
Yeah.
if you're in this zone where everyone's trying to get the cheapest price, then it's going to feel like you can never really increase your price. And yeah, that's like, it's honestly one of the hardest things for me to explain to someone new, because like, you know, when you hear leads, it's like, oh, I'm already getting 100 leads a month from High Pages. I think you were saying as well, like you were getting like maybe 4 or 5 calls a day from Service Seeking, but they weren't necessarily converting in the same way that, yeah.
Yeah. See, whereas I get anywhere from 1 to 4 calls a day with you guys, 1 to 4 calls, but I turn majority of those into leads in comparison to, you know, Service Seeking, where I might turn one, if I'm lucky, a week into a lead, into an actual job.
Wow. Yeah. So what is the, I guess, conversion rate? Like, let's say you go to 10 quotes, and like obviously they're not, you know, you're going to go through tire kickers and all that, but how many jobs would you feel like you win if you know, kind of go in and send them a proper quote and everything?
I reckon out of 10, say if I had 10 for the week, out of 10, I reckon about 8 would convert. On a bad week, maybe about 6, but it's not, I don't often get, like, everyone gets quiet moments, but like even on a quiet week, I still get about 4 quotes, and normally I turn them into jobs.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
Yeah. Especially because, you know, like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, if you're going to all these quotes, but you're not winning the jobs, it's, you know, they're not really, you know, are they really leads if they're not actually, you know, converting, right?
yeah,
Dude, that's awesome. And yeah, I guess the main thing that I'm thinking now, and especially because I could tell from you at the beginning, like you were just hungry to get going. And I think
yeah,
oftentimes it's like that's the difference maker when you talk to these clients as well, is like they just want to see that you actually care about the stuff that you're doing. And so yeah, like 80% close rate is pretty, it's pretty high, and it probably means that you need to, you know, up your rates. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit.
yeah. Right, so we'll be starting hopefully in the next month or two. I'll be going to TAFE to do a small business management thing.
Yeah.
And then from there, get we're not sure if we're going to get one person or and a machine, or 2 people, and we're sort of just going to test the waters a little bit. But hopefully by Christmas, yeah, we'll have 1 or 2 employees.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's where we want to get to. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's where, you know, because I know you've gone through some ups and downs, and like I think having, you know, being the sole dependency of the business it can be quite taxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
even
don't know.
today, even today I got 3 quotes to go do. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
I've been
I mean,
hoping
I
to be able
guess,
to do them throughout the week and palm off the work to some of the boys. But yeah, we'll get there.
it all happens, like, and I think it always starts off with, you know, especially when you first kind of, you know, I think the biggest fear is to hire someone is you need to have the work. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard to think about like, oh yeah, like I'm, you know, struggling every day doing all this stuff, and then being like, oh, but can I actually, you know, if I hire someone and then now my work finishes real quick, and it's like, let's say I was 2 weeks, now it can be like 1 week booked up, it becomes then you're kind of like worried, like, because it's like you have to like
The
get more
risk,
work and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
So
mean,
yeah,
a good mate explained to me, he goes, well, if you had a second pair of hands, you wouldn't have dislocated your shoulder that second time. So I was like, well, look, you're pretty fair.
yeah.
Because
Well,
all you got to do is have that one extra job a week, which will pay for them, and then whatever else you get done is your money, you know.
how
So
many jobs can you do? Like, so let's say if you had, what's the difference between having just you and like one extra person in terms of job output?
well, I can by myself, I can get pulled down and reinstalled about 40 to 50 meters a week,
Yeah.
which is not too bad, but getting someone else in, that would be probably 60 to 70. So that makes a bit of a difference, 60 to 70. So if we just say the higher one, so for both of them, so 20 meters difference, that's it's about a difference of 3 grand, not profit, but 3 grand in overall
Yeah.
for the week. So that
Wow.
makes a big
Off the
difference, you
week.
know.
Yeah,
For,
and then you pay them off maybe 1,500 ish, but
yeah. So you're
it's
still,
additive, right? Yeah.
yeah, so you're still profiting probably, out of that 20 meters, maybe $800
Okay.
ish, but
Yeah.
still $800 more than what you had, you
Yeah.
know.
And that's weekly as well, right? Yeah. Okay.
And you've got that help. You don't have to, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I
yeah.
mean, last question for me. What's your kind of projected goal for the next year now? You've kind of got this, I guess leads wise, do you feel sorted?
No, honestly, it's going quite smooth, yeah, and hopefully in the next sort of 12 to 18 months we can have maybe that second truck on the road or something, and potentially making a bigger area or a different area to boost that again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Keeps
Yeah.
going the way it's going, it will.
As long as you keep your shoulders, yeah.
Yeah. It's about to go back in the sling. It's quite sensitive still.
Yeah. Yeah. Mate, well, I appreciate your time. That's all I've got. Last question. Do you recommend this service?
Yeah, 100%. Yep. I definitely, I've even told a few of the other boys to potentially hit you up in the future
Yeah.
to get started, because they're in the same boat. They're starting with Service Seeking or Higher Pages or something. They're just not quite there. So
Yeah. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
they're definitely,
I
yeah, all
think there's
good.
a bit of a lag. I don't know if you're feeling it, but
Yeah, it's a bit of a lag. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It seems like it's gone better. But yeah, no, I appreciate your time. That's all I've got. Like I said, like I mean, I can even end it here.